As 2023 is already starting to pass us by, it's a new year filled with new movies, a lot of sequels. Seriously, a lot. Welcome everyone, this guy and that guy back again with another list, this time with our top 5 most anticipated movies of 2023.
I felt personally attacked because you said that you saw so many sequels, and 2 sequels are on my list.
Oh, well, I also have sequels on my list too. But yeah, I feel like I really had to dig deep for this one. There's a lot of movies I'm gonna watch, but not really a lot that I'm anticipating. What else is coming out that's not like a big CGI Marvel DC thing?
Yeah.
Or we could even totally miss the mark. What if there's just some films could pop up halfway through the year and be a total hit? We didn't even know it was coming. But I digress.
Number 5.
For number 5, I had to dig deep. I had to look around and see what certain actors were doing. And I don't even know if you've heard of this. It's kind of like a really long title. Killers of the Flower Moon.
I had never heard of that one.
Well, apparently it's Martin Scorsese's next film. That old man. I don't even know how old he is now. Still making movies. And we got Leonardo DiCaprio showing up again. Robert De Niro. John Lithgow is showing up, which I'm a big fan. And Jesse Plemons. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, I mean, you had me just at Scorsese, let alone a bunch of those actors. So I'm 100% on board with this.
Scorsese mystery thriller. Members of an oil-wealthy family and nation are murdered under mysterious circumstances in the 1920s. So it's also going to be a period piece. And I just love when Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro team up.
Yeah, it says that Brendan Fraser is going to be in it as well.
Get out of here. Yeah, there he is. He's coming back, man. I'm glad.
I don't know if when you were a kid you were a fan of the Looney Tunes at all, but I certainly was, and my favorite character was Wile E. Coyote. And if you rooted for Wile E. Coyote, you didn't understand why everybody loved Roadrunner and why Wile E. Coyote continuously bought Acme products that would always backfire in his face. So lo and behold, next year, it's coming a movie called Coyote Vs Acme. Wile E. Coyote is so tired of all of the products blowing up in his face that he's literally hired a lawyer and he is suing Acme. And I was like, this is the movie I always wanted as a kid.
Such a sharp turn with the whole turning to a court drama. That's too funny. Is Harvey Birdman in there or something? That sounds like totally a Harvey Birdman case.
I don't know who's going to be the lawyer. It's just like a synopsis I read. And I mean, first off, I was going to see it because it's Wile E. Coyote regardless. Just knowing that it's the synopsis was that he's like suing Acme, I was like, I'm all in on this movie.
And literally every episode is basically like a court docket for him to cite.
The sad part was like it was going to be released, I think it said in July as like kind of a summer movie, but it was going to be competing against Barbie, so they've actually delayed it. But it will happen sometime in 2023, and I'm okay with that because I actually really want this movie to do well.
Yeah, at least throw some money that way. Then we'll get more.
Number 4.
All right, number 4 is a little bit also off the beaten path. And I know it's not up your alley. I had to look at some of the horror films. But this one, it's more sci-fi, I'd say. You're looking at it. It's called Infinity Pool. The trailer actually just came out for it. I don't know if you checked it out yet. It's got Alexander Skarsgård, Mia Goth. It's more of like it almost looks like an art house, but if you saw the trailer, it has one of the best trailers because it shows you so much without telling you anything at all, and it just looks like a wild ride. Regular synopsis: a couple on vacation find themselves in a culture filled with violence, hedonism, and untold horror.
Just based on your description, it doesn't seem like it's a horror, but more of like a thriller, which I'm totally fine with.
Well, they're classifying as a sci-fi horror. And it definitely looks like a mind bender. Like, you'd get that once you see the trailer. So I would definitely, if you want to check this out.
It looks just like me.
Alright, what do you got for your number 4? I'm curious. This would be the documentary slot, but it's not.
Try to do something a little controversial. I'm being very hypocritical because I chose a movie by a director who I absolutely cannot stand anymore. But it is a movie that is called Knock at the Cabin.
That's funny.
It stars Dave Bautista, which is one of the major reasons I wanted to see it. But I remember watching this trailer in the theaters with my wife. We both were interested in it, it had us hooked, and then it just had at the end brought to you by M. Night Shyamalan, and you were immediately oh.
It's the drop off right there.
Yeah. But I was telling her, I was like, this is a horror film that it looks like I could watch it with you. It's apocalyptic. It's right up my... Oh, it's M. Night Shyamalan. But you know what? I'm still hoping that it's going to be good, but that's why I'm putting it in my number 4 slightly controversial spot.
No, that's good though. I'm glad. I mean, it is anticipated, and I can't wait to see it for the same reasons you said. It's just like, how
Yeah,
would
you
you
know.
feel if you were sitting there and you saw a big hulking Batista walk out of the woods?
The 4 of us are here to prevent the apocalypse.
Number 3.
All right, number 3, classic, and I cannot wait for it. It's Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
I did want to put that on my list, so
I'm
I'm
glad you
glad that
didn't.
I didn't and that you chose it.
Yeah, that saves me because I was like, I wonder when he's gonna put it, but that's good. But this is a sequel to the, I guess, what was the first one called? Was it just called Spider-Man? I can't remember.
Yeah, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
That
Great
was it,
music
okay.
too. Like I remember the colors and the music just was fantastic. Like I was so fond of that movie.
Well, that's the second reason why I want to see it, is just the art style is amazing. And then we're also getting one of my favorite variations of Spider-Man. I don't know if you know a lot about Spider-Man, but Spider-Man 2099 is going to be in it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's my
Which I
favorite.
liked because he was a Hispanic version.
Yeah, O'Hara. And it's also saying part 1, which is curious. I think they dropped it, but I'm seeing different media that say part 1 and then one that doesn't say part 1. So I don't know. It's up in the air.
I went with an upcoming black comedy film called Cocaine Bear, which I thought had an
nice.
amazing trailer. And I also like that, I believe it's the last film that Ray Liotta did before he passed.
Yes.
So that it's like an
R.I.P..
extra reason I want to watch it. But just kind of the premise is like, basically there's cocaine that's like dropped out of like a plane. A bear ingests it and goes on like a cocaine binge, like murderous rampage down south. And it's just like about surviving that and them trying to like take the bear down. They say it's like loosely based on like a real
Apparently.
story. I don't know how true it is, but this trailer looked funny as hell. And I was like, man, if they could just keep that up throughout the whole thing and they didn't ruin all the jokes, like this movie is going to be awesome.
I believe it is real events, to be honest, because I feel like you can't write this. It's that outrageous.
The bear, it fucking did cocaine.
Number 2.
All right, number 2, highly anticipated, but totally took me by surprise on a Saturday morning. Have you ever seen 65 yet?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay, good. That just looks amazing. It's the Jurassic Park I didn't know I needed. If you're watching this and you haven't seen the trailer yet, go watch the trailer because it just has a nice little surprise mid-trailer that just you didn't see coming, really. I didn't see it coming. I don't know about you.
There's so much of this that it got me wanting to watch it. Like deep down, all of us want to test ourselves like this. Like, could we make it like when the dinosaurs were there and just everything is bigger and wants to kill us? Like, are we that badass?
Well, when you think about it, this is just like a video game premise. But
Absolutely.
I love the whole
Turok.
sci-fi elements. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I can't wait to see him kill a T-Rex. That's going to be pretty crazy.
Same.
And that too, it's the classic like old versus new, and he's going to be like the future versus the past. It's going to be crazy. I can't wait.
Right. I'm not gonna lie. I was going back and forth between this one being number 1 and number 2. I chose it purely as number 2 because it has 2 in the name. Dune, Part 2.
All right. That one I'll give it to you though, because this one is highly anticipated.
The thing about Dune Part 2 is, I've said this before, I'm a huge fan of the Dune book. It is my favorite book of all time. So this is the second part of the movie, and I think where they're actually going to get into the best stuff from the books. So they kind of, the first movie was a lot of setup, and then the second movie is like him actually becoming like a Fremen. Sorry, when I say him, I mean Paul Atreides, really becoming like Muad'Dib. I just am looking forward to it. I think the Dune Part 2 is probably going to be much better received even than the first one. So it's just going to be all the good parts of the movie. I think everybody's going to love it, and I think it's going to be a huge blockbuster.
This is only the beginning.
Number 1.
It's been a long time coming down the dusty road. We were talking about sequels, but my number 1 just happens to be, I don't know what you call it, a septuple sequel? I don't know. We got Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. I think this is like number 9. I don't really know.
It is a lot. Like, they're pumping them out like crazy nowadays.
Well, I'm very excited. I love this series. I've drank the Kool-Aid when it comes to Tom Cruise and Mission Impossible. I followed them all. They just keep ramping it up, getting better. They're saying goodbye to Tom Cruise's character, apparently, in a 1-2-parter. And this is the first part. So I'm curious what they're going to do. I know it's not going to be like a small event, Like Tom Cruise is going to kill one of his on-screen characters. It's going to go out crazy. Not even including him trying to kill himself in real life for the stunts for the film. It's crazy.
Right.
But yeah, they're finally saying goodbye to the character, and I'm just really curious to see like what huge way they do it. It's gonna be some kind of like Batman Nightfall Protocol level.
Like all I'm saying is that I've seen his character die, so I'm not gonna believe it.
Well, that's why I said the Batman level. They're definitely, that's my guess, is they're gonna be like, oh, he's dead, but then we're gonna get the Dark Knight Returns where he's just like sitting across from you in a restaurant. Oh, there he is.
You need to pick a side.
All right, I'm tingling at the fingers. What is your number one? What is your sequel of a sequel of a sequel of a sequel?
I feel like you had to have known this one, but we'll see.
I don't know, actually.
It's gonna be John Wick Chapter 4.
Oh, okay. Actually, that's good. That's good.
In John Wick Chapter 3, they kind of like really expanded the universe. He's like facing off against the High Table like pretty directly, and that's like what Chapter 4 is about. Like he is gonna be facing the High Table. He's recruiting a bunch of people and going to like overturn that world he was a part of. So just interested to see where they take it, and also to see the action that they progress, because every single movie you see the progression of the gun action with its realism to like reloads and things like that, which I'm a huge fan of, but also the martial arts and continuing to build on that. So really interested in seeing how it goes for Chapter 4, and I think Chapter 4 will actually be better than Chapter 2 or 3.
That's how I feel about it. I'd say I'm probably more excited for this one than I was for 2 and 3 in general.
Well, I feel like it's been built, so it's already built now, and like they can just go.
Well, now he's gonna go make his own table.
Right, exactly.
You ready, John?